Hi, welcome. This is Bhaskar Baswa reporting for the Southwest. The elections are here and so are we. Today I am here with an exclusive story on YSRCP's modus operandi with volunteers in voter profiling despite Election Commission ban. But before I begin, let me remind you to subscribe Southwest. There's a reason when it comes to the southern states. It's Southwest that brings you exclusive and interesting stories. From the southern state of Andhra Pradesh, we have brought you an interesting stories on how water profiling is being done through volunteer system and Growsardis. We also reported on how RSS is gaining ground in Andhra Pradesh with Vidya Bharati schools. We also told you on how RSS and BJP are facilitating trains, and turned the Chalo Ayodhya now, in the run-up to election as a campaign mode. We don't miss out on politics either. It was on 1st January this year, we reported that YSRCP will be inducted into Congress on 4th January. And exactly it happened. Also in the same month, we reported that TDP is close to sealing a deal with Jansena, with around Jansena and BJP with around 6 Lok Sabha and 35 assembly seats. We also told you that there are 3 central Andhra YSRCP MPs seeking an exit and looking to contest on new symbols. And I can say this, as we reported, all these have happened. We also brought voices that need to be heard, such as stories on protest of 55,000 preschool Anganwadi workers, shedding light on their grievances. Also the struggle of 300 tribals in Visakhapatnam who are fighting for access to a road. Moreover, we are also reported on caste discrimination, revealing how Dalits are being denied burial ground in one of the village in Andhra Pradesh, Anantapur district. So furthermore, we dwelled into a story on how DGP in Andhra Pradesh is leading a movement for exclusive SC panchayats. All these stories you won't find anywhere, it's exclusively on Southwest. So, okay, let me start with YSRCP's modus operandi with volunteers in voter profiling despite the election commission. The general elections in Andhra Pradesh for the 175 assembly and 25 parliamentary seats are nearing, as the state will go polls on 13 May, which is roughly around 40 days from today. The ruling YSRCP and the opposition parties, including NDA alliance partners TDP, Jansena, and also India alliance partners Congress and Communist parties, are actively engaging in their efforts to attract voters. But the 13-year-old YSRCP appears to have undue power that has established an army of 10 lakh workers since coming to power in 2019. Nearly around 2.5 lakh village and ward volunteers, 1.34 lakh village and ward secretariat employees, and 5.2 lakh Growsardis and 45,000 in charges of them are active in Andhra Pradesh. Volunteers are part of government structure. They are responsible for delivering around 25 welfare schemes, door to door. But on 14 February this year, in a response to complaints from the opposition parties and NGOs, the ECI has barred the village and volunteers in any kind of election-related task. Neither, in polling agents of any candidate, they cannot act as a polling candidates. However, in reality, the restrictions do not entirely prevent the YSRCP from collaborating with volunteers for voter profiling. An independent investigation conducted by Southwest over a few days in Vijayawada and Machilipatnam parliamentary constituencies revealed how voter profiling is being conducted in the final voters list by party workers in nexus with volunteers. The nexus aims to assist the party in segregating voters in 3 groups, as YSRCP inclined, opposition inclined, and neutral, allowing the party to tailor different strategies accordingly to woo them, to woo these voters. Ever since the election campaign has started, the YSRCP has begun reaching out to these volunteers. But not all volunteers are willing to work with the party. There are reasons, some are fearing that, they might lose their jobs, facing strict actions from the election commission because of scrutiny from opposition parties locally, while some others are hesitant to take the risk shot because they are unsure if YSRCP would return to power. This is when YSRCP strategized by its own consulting agency, IPAC, has designed a plan called Volunteer Connect. As a part of its ongoing campaign, Memu Siddham and Ma Booth Siddham. This is something, we are ready and our booth is ready. This plan is considered crucial at grassroots level in defending the ruling party for the second time against mighty opposition, alliance parties like TDP, JSP and BJP on ground. As per the plan of Volunteer Connect, as accessed by South First, the structure goes in 4 formats. The first comes with the MLA or the constituency in charge, the second comes the booth in charge, and the third comes the mandal in charge, and the fourth comes the booth committees. For each booth, there will be a booth committee of 4 people consisting of 1 booth president and 3 booth core committee members. Among the 3 booth core committee members, there should be a volunteers and grossardis. In the case of volunteers resistance, those who don't agree to work with them, they are mapped with the grossardis of the booth. The grossardis are the party workers. Remember, in April 2023, volunteers introduced the grossardis as YSRCP caretakers and problem solvers to the beneficiaries. They took each and every house and they said these are the party caretakers, and it's like a KT that has happened. These people will take care of you. And now those grossardis are mapped with the volunteers in booth. The IPAC workers who are coordinating with the candidates are taking the leaders through the process of how to use volunteers. One is to directly onboard the volunteers through resignation, and the other is through appointing the point of contact and get the work done indirectly. The end game, of course, is to keep the volunteers in the party's corner. If a volunteer doesn't turn up to work them directly, it's fine. The MLA should appoint a point of contact for such a volunteer. The POC should be as close as family member or trustworthy to the candidate. The retirement volunteers through these POCs would indirectly meet the candidate regularly to ensure some kind of personal connections. That's what the plan. As per the instructions, the list of inactive volunteers will be shared with MLA or party in charges of the constituency, who will reach out to these volunteers, and basically, they would assure, yes, work for us. It's onboarding process will go on. So it's like those who are not working also, they'll be shortlisted that volunteers list. The candidates are expected to convince these volunteers that even if they have to be suspended or terminated by the election commission, their salary will be taken care of for the next 2 months, and they will be re-employed immediately the moment once YS Jagan comes to the power. To note it, there is no bar or restrictions on those volunteers who resigned from the post of volunteer. They can work to any political party. That's what the district election commission has said. Now the implementation. Look, after onboarding these volunteers, the volunteers who are not ready to resign, these volunteers who are wooed by YSRCP leaders are coordinating with the YSRCP cadre at booth level and helping them with whatever inputs they may require. See the document, one of the document that has been accessed by South First from one of the mandal leader in Vijayawada. He is in charge of these booth committees. So basically, as you can see this list, so the scrutiny of voters list is what they are carrying it. So now the booth committee members will call up the volunteers and they will ask which of this household belongs to which party, like is it YSRCP sympathizer or is it opposition sympathizer or is it neutral. Now we come with other set of volunteers who are resigning to work directly for YSRCP. They basically cites that they are resigning because of opposition parties are obstructing their efforts to help the poor. They are particularly concerned about the Citizens for Democracy Forum, an NGO that filed a complaint against volunteers for not disbursing the pensions. Subsequently, guidelines were issued, halting them to disburse the pension. So in Machilipatnam constituency alone, roughly 1200 volunteers out of around 1500 have submitted their resignations. When I have talked to them, the volunteers who have resigned, they clearly said that they will now take the part of YSRCP campaigns directly and will also involve in the booth committees. They denied any monetary aspects from the party and candidate, and they said that we are working voluntarily. But that's not the truth. As per the leaders I met and the plan from the IPAC that suggests, they have the monetary aspect, compensating the 2 months salary and promise of reinstating them once YS Jagan comes to power. So you see, this is how the volunteers are working for YSRCP. A section of volunteers are resigning directly, and the other section of volunteers are not resigning, but they are continue to extend their help and cooperation, whatever it may require, behind the doors. So this is their integral to their strategy of voter profiling for each household, as they can tailor different strategies for 3 segments voters, such as pro-YSRCP, opposition sympathizer and neutral, and they can achieve the 60% target of every booth, 60% of votes to YSRCP to every booth. So this is all about YSRCP's modus operandi with volunteers for voter profiling, smartly overriding the election commission ban. For more details on the story, do check out it on the website. The link is provided in the description. And stay tuned for South First.